My wonderful grandchildren. Let me talk about an idea or concept that's very hard to do, but very important to have in your life, and that is acceptance. Just accepting the way that things are. In other words, you're in traffic, you can get very upset and start screaming and, with your fists, or you get cut off. I mean, even worse, but what can you do but accept it? Because there's really nothing that you can do about it. I mean, in the long run, you can't change other people. You can only change your reaction to them. So that idiot in the coffee line at Starbucks who's got the 13 different requests to get his drink, I mean, you want to grab the drink and pour it over his head. That's not exactly acceptance. I mean, for you, and it's not easy to do, but you got to practice it every day, is, okay, I'm in a situation that I can't change. I have to accept it. What can I do? I can take a couple of deep breaths. I can breathe. I can think, okay, what can I do about this? God, give me the strength to know what I can change and the courage to, realize what I can't change, and let me be able to breathe deeply so I can stay focused on my goals, so I can stay centered and focused. And it's not weakness, it's actually power that you can accept something. I mean, if you're in a meeting and your boss is screaming and seems to be blaming you, or you do a project and blah blah blah, there's not much that you can do about that at the time. I mean, overreacting at the time and starting fighting is probably going to get you nowhere, rather than take a few deep breaths and then seeing the boss afterwards and say, I appreciate your feedback. Now, can we talk about this? Now, that is not weakness. That is actually strength. That is actually self-discipline. That's actually giving you the ability to have a much happier, much calmer life. I mean, you have teenage kids and, it's tough. You can yell at a kid when he's 5 years old and maybe get him to change. When there's 15, you really have to accept that at this point, you really have to sit down with the kid and reason. You have to accept that. Even with your partner, you have to say, well, we're going to have conflicts. Okay, can I take a deep breath? Can I accept this? What can I actually do? And by being in this acceptance mindset, you're going to be able to, as we said, focus on your goals and your objectives and moving a little further towards your goals and objectives and having a better life, that strong life that you want to have for yourself, and so you can be there with your family so that you're not overreacting whenever, when anything happens. If you like this idea, well, I talk about these things all the time. I want you to go to success.org, success.org, which is my website where I have, the 1,000-panel app. You can read something just like this. And it's not, what's my role as your grandpa, as your teacher? It's not to preach to you, not to order you, that's what you got to do. No, it's to give you ideas so you can think for yourself. What do you want? How are you going to get what you want? How do people who are in similar circumstances deal with the situation successfully so that they can move forward always a little further? So the courses, the book, the app, everything, of course, at my age, what am I going to do? I mean, if I'm almost 80 years old and I'm begging for money, I mean, that's that's pretty sad. So I'm not going to do that. What I have, I'm going to share with you, the wonderful people on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook who read this stuff, and I hope you get something out of it. because that's what I want. That's my legacy, to take the 60 years that I've been in business and studying and saying, okay, what have I learned? What mistakes did I make? What would I do differently? Because I'm always trying to move just a little bit further. So I want you to be moving a little bit further so you can have everything you ever wanted in your life for yourself and your family. I mean, that's it. Purpose, passion, peace, and prosperity. I want you to be happy. Now, how do you do that? Well, one of the things is when you get a kick in the ass by life and things aren't going exactly the way that you want them to go, that you're able to take a deep breath and say, okay, all right, this person's a jerk, nothing I can do about it. Let's move on. Let's do that. I'm your Papa Bill.